In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Hobbs and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because all two of us are más o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better than you, but our movies certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that's getting pushed out of the Hollywood sludge pipe that is modern right now. That's right. It's bad. It's bad movies. Everybody, we're gonna talk about it. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Yeah, doing good.
Good. It's gonna be a chill stream tonight. David and Dark Jared are both. They said they couldn't make it. They're both looking for their pants. I don't know where they are, but they're certainly not wearing them. So it'll just be me and Jared, and I haven't heard from the Ingram Exa. I was talking to him all week, and he might be super busy because Primo's just dropped. I haven't watched it yet, but we're gonna be doing some more of that.
Really?
Very soon. Yeah, it dropped this week. He's probably like dead or something. I don't know.
Oh boy!
It probably killed him.
One episode, 20 minutes, maybe 15.
No, I think he's working on. We're gonna try and do like an animation, voice acting, Gringos. I think we're going full steam on Gringos.
Sure.
So
That's funny.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's been a crazy week. How are you, Jared?
I'm doing well. I finished up a test, and so it kind of relieves a little bit of the studying pressure. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, Jared's gonna be an architect soon. Right now, he's still an unpaid intern, but we're working on it. I finally got the rest of my merch that got delayed because there was I can tell all that. So the hat came immediately, as well as the new mugs that are bigger, and I like them.
Yeah, those are huge.
The corporate mug, if you want to look important, or if you want to like not look ridiculous with one of these in the workplace, right? Jared's trying to bring back the side ponytail, maybe. Your hair's getting real long, man.
It is getting real long. My wife put it in a side ponytail just the other day. So, because unfortunately the sides are the part that aren't long enough to actually put it in a good ponytail. So, haven't quite made it back at that point. That's the goal. That's the goal, guys. We'll do a Napoleon Dynamite sort of,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm trying to replace merch. This is Streamlabs merch. This is the only one that's printed. Because
I was going to say, is that the one that's printed or embroidered?
So this is DTG, direct to garment printing, but it feels like much better quality. Like this isn't gonna peel off. It might fade, but all the shirts from spring were fading for me. Like peeling off completely. Like my hoodie is just coming apart. So I tried to switch. Apparently, it's a problem with DTG printing. Like if you do it wrong, it can peel off. So right now, I tried to switch over all the designs to embroidery because that can't peel off.
Yeah.
And I like it, but so here's your feedback, okay?
Okay. That looks good.
It looks good,
Yeah.
but it stretched the shirt a little bit. You can see
Yeah.
when you're wearing it. If you're fat, it's gonna even out, but it does. The shirt quality is much better too. Like these are like canvas shirts. They feel much better. It's way cheaper, so that's why I want to do it. But let me know if you think the embroidery on a shirt with just a little bit of stretching is good, or if I just should switch that to printing.
I'd have.
I feel like this is much better quality, so it might work. And then we got new hoodies. So this is what delayed it. So the old pattern on my old hoodie was the whole bunch of rejected logos, and that's the one that's like completely peeling off. And so I switched it to an embroidery pattern. I did a whole bunch of work, moved it down so it's only 4 colors because that's the maximum colors you can have.
Yeah.
And that's what delayed the shipping because it was too big. And they're like, okay, we're going to have to simplify the design and shrink it down and shrink it down just a little bit. And I said, okay. And then it got here.
Yeah, wasn't it much bigger than that?
It's so small.
It was huge before, wasn't it?
It's ridiculous. You can't even see what it is. They're like, yeah, we're just going to shrink it down just a little bit. It's funny because I paid extra for the big, there's different sizes and that cost more and less, Yeah. And the smaller size was cheaper. And this is
that looks all right.
This is the regular hoodie, and it's bigger. It's bigger than the larger size, which was more expensive.
Seriously, that's crazy, man.
But I was testing out different types too. This is a much better hoodie type, and it's the same price. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
that's funny. Yeah, it's. I would definitely imagine that needs to be at least, good size square.
Yeah, but I can already tell it's a much better quality shirt, much better quality print. The only other problem is that you can't integrate with YouTube. You can't integrate your store until you have 20,000 subscribers. So, but the Teespring integration isn't working anyway. It's only displaying one of my products. So it's whatever. I don't care. Anyway, let's talk about nerdy stuff. Let me know in the comments if you have a preference if I should do the embroidery or whatnot. But these ones turned out real nice. This turned out real nice. We're tweaking some stuff, making sure it's good quality and not crappy stuff. I don't want you to pay for stuff that's not good.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch the Olympics?
No, but I heard about it. Heard about the.
You're okay with a little bit of stretching on a t-shirt? Like it works. It doesn't stretch on a hoodie, but on the t-shirt itself, it's a little bit. It's not that noticeable, but.
I was gonna say, but that one I need to see it on a mannequin for sure to kind of see how it fits. No, I wanted to watch some of the Olympics, but it was I think it was starting about the same time I was taking the test, so I couldn't really do both.
But you've seen the opening ceremony stuff?
About the blue
the Smurf guy?
Yeah.
Smurf
guy.
Jesus?
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's been crazy.
I mean,
the backlash has been crazy.
Bad. It's bad when there's been more media about that than any other opening ceremony.
Right.
I don't. In the past, I haven't heard anything really about the opening ceremony except maybe oh yeah, it was cool. There was a drone show or
Look,
maybe there's something.
And I'm pretty moderate on this kind of stuff. Look, I get it's art. Don't take it too seriously, right? If an artist is gonna be dancing, in a devil costume, or making fun of Christians, whatever. You don't have to watch it, okay?
Yeah.
But this is like the Olympics, right? They're like this isn't a private performance that you can like opt into. I guess you can opt into the Olympics, and people are gonna do it, right? But Freddy Krueger, we'll get into it. It does not save the MCU. It makes fun of it completely. I don't know. The Olympics feels different, and I it bothers me when Christians jump on this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, it's satanic, it's demonic. We have a tendency to overreact.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, true. A lot of people do.
And well, in some of the cases, yeah, Krueger. I agree. It's a good movie. It's not saving the MCU. With Christian stuff, yeah, we tend to overreact. And even though some of the imagery is obviously demonic, it's still like people can do whatever they want, right? There's symbolism everywhere, and not all of it's literal. Okay, whatever. But like the Olympics, it's like a different kind of precedent, right? And there's a difference between, and everyone's like, oh, people they did the Last Supper on Sopranos, and no one freaked out about it. Like it was like a promotional image for their final season. There's a difference between an homage and a mockery, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even care about this that much, but I also don't want to watch the Olympics now. Like, I feel like we're overreacting a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, this is just open mainstream mockery that, they would never do for, like, Muslims, right?
Well,
For Islam.
Absolutely.
So there's a double standard. I think some people are getting a little bit too tied up about it, about the imagery itself. Like the Marie Antoinette stuff, I thought was actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
they had her headless, holding her own head. That's freaking cool. That's real. That's cool.
I agree.
But yeah, the Last Supper stuff doesn't bother me, but it's pretty insulting. To see it opening ceremony, like that's the kind of stuff. Sure, go see their concert.
Yeah,
that's not the kind of message you should be sending at the Olympics. Also, a dude had his ball sack out in front of a kid. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, one of the drag performers in the Last Supper, standing right next to a 10-year-old kid, had his ball sack hanging out of his costume. They called it a costume malfunction. But those things are so tight. There's no way that he didn't know.
No, that's too bad.
The backlash has been so bad. They removed their own video, so you can't watch it from them, and anyone who posts it gets copyright struck. They're trying to bury this so hard. It's crazy. So yeah.
I've definitely seen there's some pretty big backlash. I mean, in the end, somebody decided that was okay. That's
because it was. There's pictures of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So is this the guy that was on the table, the blue guy?
No, the guy behind him.
Oh,
I briefly showed a picture, but it wasn't. I realized it wasn't censored, so I took it.
Okay.
It's small, but you could see his nutsack if you go back about 15 seconds.
Anyway, yeah. That's too bad.
I thought I had a censored version up where someone had drawn over it. But yeah, standing right behind a kid, you better know if you're covered. It feels very intentional. Yes. Speaking of predators,
that's sad though. Yeah, didn't that one just come out too? The new Predator movie or Alien movie?
Yeah, Chris Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mr. Beast guy.
Oh no! Sorry,
No,
I see what
just
you're talking about.
here's the if you don't. You may think you hate mainstream media, but you don't hate them enough. Okay? Publicly condemning Dr. Disrespect before any of the evidence came out, which now it's out. Yeah, bad stuff. And then after the evidence has come out, covering for Chris Tyson because they don't want to sound transphobic.
No.
They did the exact same thing. It's an identical crime. So
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, I saw something about how Mr. Beast had condoned him or had let him go or something
yeah,
like that.
he knew about a lot of it. Like he's on some of the chat logs too. So Chris Tyson was like, "Oh yeah, we've decided it's mutually beneficial to step away," and then Mr. Beast was like, "No, he's gone. I fired him."
Shoot.
But yeah, it's a scandal. Anyway, that's fun. I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to get too political. I have another example of the mainstream media being absolutely retarded, like just blatantly lying about how. Yeah, let's do it. I don't care. Getting political. I didn't do this. You did this. Okay. I didn't want to talk about politics.
I did this. I don't know how I did this.
No, I'm talking about dummies.
Okay.
Okay. I'm talking about the people who made everything political. Okay. They're claiming that we made up the term border czar. Kamala was never the border czar. So stop saying it. And here's a montage of them creating the term. Yes, we get it. Her title wasn't officially the border czar, but she was officially put in charge of the border. And it was CNN that came up with they kept calling her the border czar, and now they're trying to say, no, she's not the border czar. We didn't lie to you for 15 years. This is just a montage of them saying border czar and then saying, no, it's not true. Yes, it is true. No, it's not true. So, anyway. I hate the media. They're all terrible. Assassin's Creed apologized for the black guy, and they're not going to make any changes. That's news. And
they're coming out with another Avengers?
Okay, you haven't seen the news, Jared?
No, I haven't seen the news.
If you see one more political ad, yeah. Sorry, I got a little political. Now I swear we're at nerdy stuff now. Okay? We got through all the political news. It was a crazy week, okay? You can't just not mention that stuff.
That was pretty crazy.
No, it's not a new Avengers movie. It's repurposed.
Really?
So Kang Dynasty is out.
Yeah, I heard something about how
it's replaced.
They're going to do something with
Kang is gone. I don't even think they're going to say his name. Maybe it's a throwaway line about how Doctor Doom killed him off screen, right? They're swapping. They're hardcore transitioning. This is a 180. They brought back the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers are going to be directing Avengers Doomsday.
I did hear that.
And then they're sticking with Secret Wars. So the next two Avengers movies are Russo brothers, Doomsday, Secret Wars. Guess who's playing Doctor Doom? Mark Clark's already said it, so don't look at the chat.
I don't know.
Guess who they cast as Doctor... Which we said, this is where they should go. Like I said from the get-go, after Endgame, they should have immediately transitioned into Doctor Doom. Robert Downey Jr.
I saw the thing where he took off the mask. I saw that little clip.
And people were creaming. They were like, yeah! Why?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, how is that exciting? Why can't we just have a regular Doctor Doom? It's going to be an Iron Man variant.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be stupid. Why? Also, the Russo brothers have already said, yeah, we're gonna have to leave a lot of characters out because they don't want. You could take a wild guess as to which characters might be left out of the Avengers movies. I don't know, maybe all of the new ones.
She-Hulk. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they're done. They're not making more She-Hulk. It's done.
Yeah. No, I heard something about how they were saying that part of the reason why they haven't been successful is because they haven't had an Avengers for this new.
Sure. Also, their movies have been garbage.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And so it's like, oh yeah, okay. Well, like, all right. Well, let's see how this one compares, huh?
Yeah. So they're totally they didn't even have a trailer for what was the big one that they were super hyped about? I don't know. But yeah, they showed footage from Fantastic Four, which honestly, I think the casting, it looks really good, except for Pedro Pascal. I like the Sue Storm. I like the guy from The Bear. I have no idea who the other guy is, but he's playing Johnny Storm, so it doesn't really matter. Like, Johnny Storm is, he's the support, right? Like, no one really cares about him.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is the worst choice. He's awful for Reed Richards. So they showed some footage from that. They showed the trailer that we've already seen for Brave New World, for Captain Blackton America, and I think they showed a trailer for the Thunderbolts, which is the all of the Black Widow rejects, like the new Black Widow and Stranger Things dad. I don't care.
Okay.
They're gonna need to pivot harder than just Robert Downey Jr. coming back as a villain. There's so much more. There's so much more that they need to change. They still have not showed a single trailer for Ironheart, which it's been done for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just. I don't even think it'll ever be released. I think they're just sitting on it so hard.
Well, I mean, can you blame them, though? A lot of their other releases haven't done very well.
Sorry, Mark Clark. He woked. It was a good joke. He walked. Ewoked. Got it. How did Luke get to Andor? Sure. I butchered the joke, too, so it wasn't autocorrect. Don't blame autocorrect. Yeah. What was the big...
Hey, but we don't have to talk about Star Wars anymore. That's pretty big news.
For a bit, and then there's the Skeleton Boys.
The Skeleton Boys.
Yeah. When does that come out? Skeleton Crew release date.
Oh, yeah.
It comes out this year. It says late around Christmas. Okay. So we have till Christmas. I have about a month of free time. Now that Star Wars is over, well, I got to finish Agatha. When does Agatha come out?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that was coming.
Are you gonna make me watch that, Mark?
Wait, we got to get an update on Mark's watching.
I doubt he's done it. Okay, Agatha release date is September.
It's coming up. A month.
It comes out at the same time. It's simultaneous with Rings of Power, dude. I don't know if I can do that, Mark. I don't know if I can do both. I just had to do Doctor Who and Star Wars at the same time, and I watched them, but I couldn't finish making the Doctor Who videos, right? Because I was getting pummeled with copyright strikes. Speaking of, new video tomorrow. If you remember, you can watch it, Mark. But I got the Rings of Power trailer video. I'm not making any money of it. It's copyright struck, but I'm releasing it anyway because screw Amazon. I hate them. He's gotten as far as adding it to his list. Dude, you got to watch it by August. If you haven't watched it by the end of August, like, you're done. You have. I can no longer trust you. I'll give you a month.
You got to start putting some deadlines.
You have to watch Top Gun Maverick. That was the deal. I watched all of the Acolyte. I made a video on every episode except the last two. I'm still working on the last two. Okay, I took a couple days off because I had to do a whole bunch of housework, and I'm exhausted. Oh yeah, they're making a Top Gun 3. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's exciting.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know if I can do Agatha and
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. I might watch it afterwards. Look, I've got a month. Okay,
Rings of Power is gonna be so good.
I've got one. It's literally a month to the day, right? Or I guess 2 plus 1 day. I've been massively overworked these last months. I'm gonna take this month. I'm gonna finish Acolyte videos. I think I'm gonna. I can't do both, but you choose. Do you want me to finish doing Doctor Who, or do you want me to go back to Wheel of Time? Let me know in the comments. I'll do one of those and try and get a few episodes done. But I also don't want to overdo it. I don't want to, just overstress myself trying to get both of them done and then hit Rings of Power and just be wiped out. Because they're dropping 3 episodes at once.
Really?
On a Thursday night, I'm going to be editing all Thursday, all Friday, all Saturday, and I'm going to get no sleep trying to get those 3 episodes done at the same time.
Did they do it episodic last time?
No, they released the first 2, and then it was weekly. And now they're releasing the first 3, and then weekly.
Interesting.
Rings of is it I'm going to do Rings of Power, obviously. That made the most money. I'm going to prioritize Rings of Power over the Acolyte. Okay. I'm going to prioritize Rings of Power over Agatha all along. Maybe if I get ahead, it's not going to be for the first 2 weeks, I can tell you that, because I'm going to be working overtime doing 3 episodes, and then the next week somehow have to get the next, I'm going to get no sleep for 2 weeks. And then maybe once I've gotten the groove, I can start making fun of Agatha all along. Okay? But in the month break that I have, do you want me to do Wheel of Time or Doctor Who?
No, you should just do Agatha right now. Why do you have to wait for
because it comes out September 18th. I can't watch it before it comes out.
I'm just saying, you got a whole month. Why not just...
September 18th. Look, Rings of Power drops August 29th. Oh yeah. Agatha doesn't even drop until 3 episodes in. 5 episodes in. Stupid retard.
How many episodes are there going to be?
I don't care. Why would I care?
I don't know.
It's dropping 2 episodes. It's dropping 2 episodes in the first day.
It's probably going to be 10 then. Another 10 season.
Agatha. I'm putting it in my schedule right now. September 18th. 2 freaking episodes. Yeah. By the time it airs, I might be caught up with Rings of Power. I could spare. I might be able to juggle both at the same time. I just don't want to die. I don't want to end up dead. Like, it's so much work.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't hurt yourself.
But like, I could just be killing it with content. Okay.
Could be.
And halfway, like 3 episodes before the Penguin drops the same week. Penguin episode 1. Too. I'm probably not going to need to make videos on it. It's probably going to be good.
Looks
or at
good.
least better, And then Dune Prophecy doesn't have a release date. They just said this fall, so it doesn't have a date yet. But they're probably not going to air it during the Penguins run, so that the Penguins should end the week of November 10th. It's probably like the next. November is still fall, right? That's not winter yet.
No, I think winter's December and January.
Yeah, so it's probably going to air after Penguins done, or maybe like before the finale. Then they'll do Dune Prophecy. So we'll have we'll have like something to talk about weekly. Except we have 2 weeks after House of the Dragon, where we'll have nothing to discuss, unless
Agatha.
Unless you're seeing.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time.
It doesn't come out yet. We have 2 more weeks of House of the Dragon, and then we have 2 off weeks. Okay, where we could talk about the Aliens movie and Borderlands. If we don't watch them opening week, if we watch them the next week, we could cover those 2 weeks, or we could all go in on 1 month of Apple and either check out Silo or Dark Matter.
Ooh, that's tempting.
So that's the other thing you need to vote on. Okay, I've heard. I think I need to go back to Wheel of Time before I go back to Doctor Who. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do one of each. It depends. Wheel of Time makes me so sad. I'll start with Wheel of Time, and if I can keep going, I'll keep going. But I might have to go juggle. Go give myself some break, because Wheel of Time just gets me depressed. Okay, so what's more important though? Dark Matter or Silo? That's what we need next in the comments. Yeah, but we only have 2 weeks, so I don't know if I can't make everyone. I can't make these guys binge 2 shows. We can binge one of them.
I think I just realized our problem. We chose to watch these movies and these shows on Disney Plus.
I didn't watch them on Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, we chose to choose these ones on Disney instead of watching the Apple. Apple TV. If we were watching stuff on Apple TV, I'm sure we would always just have, positive things to talk about.
Right.
But we chose the wrong platform.
That's true. We chose the wrong platform. Okay. All right. Dark Matter looks like it, but that'll be the last 2 weeks of August. So then we got Rings of Power, and then the Penguin starts while that's going. We'll get Dune Prophecy sometime then. And then there was the other show. Right. And Agatha in the middle of all that, which I just don't care about. And then, November, December, there might be a couple weeks unless there's Dune Prophecy. So how many episodes is Dune Prophecy? Is it 6?
12. 18?
What?
Probably 18.
That's
maybe
not
24.
Oh, and then we'll have Skeleton Crew at the end around Christmas too. So, not looking forward to any of that.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm not looking forward to the Penguin. I think it'll be okay.
The Banquet?
The Penguin.
Oh, the Penguin. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Penguin.
I think it'll be mediocre. It's not going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I just like getting introduced to his character in the last Batman. It was kind of like, okay, this is an interesting,
Colin Farrell's awesome in it, right? He's great as Penguin. Here's the thing: I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good content. The problem is why. Like, it'll probably be a pretty good gangster crime thriller.
Yeah,
but why are we getting that instead of Batman?
Maybe there's too many Batman.
It's probably going to be fine. But the fact that it's set in the Batman universe just makes me not interested in it.
I wonder if they're going to try to set up
I don't even. They've been talking about the sequel to the Batman, which they should do because it was good and people liked it. It made money. But I think James Gunn has too big of an ego to let that happen.
Yeah.
It's been delayed and delayed and delayed. I think we talked about it. I think it's idiotic. I think the people who were screaming in Hall H are all retarded. They were,
I mean, here's the thing.
You saw the reaction. Yeah!
Here's the thing, though. He's got
Why?
a mask on. He's going to have a mask on the whole
Look,
time.
it could work if you never show his face, maybe.
Yeah, right? Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's still stupid. But if you don't see his face, then why cast Robert Downey Jr.? It's a gimmick. I don't understand why people are excited. I think they have nothing and they know it.
Hey, it could
And
be
this
like
is
the
just
Mandalorian, though.
they're
You know,
just
like,
shooting for the trees.
we love the Mandalorian, and then he took his helmet off, and we're like, oh, it's Pedro Pascal.
Wait,
Oh, true.
who's under the mask?
Right? And so maybe it's like, hey, it's that sort of thing. You just keep the mask on, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Doom just keeps his mask on.
I think
Robert Downey Jr.
they're
we know how amazing he is,
desperate.
but
They are desperate. We've already seen this is a massive, massive desperate pivot, right? Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll be good. Even if it is good, though, like it's not going to bring back the people you pissed off. It's not like here. Okay, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, which you haven't seen. I did see.
yeah.
I think it's a good movie. It's fine. But it's not going to save the MCU, right? Spoilers, it doesn't even take place in the MCU.
Well, that was the big thing, right? Is that they were bringing Deadpool into that universe.
They didn't.
And they were so excited because they're like, yeah, look, now we actually have a budget.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the budget just went into cameos. Like this doesn't look better than Deadpool 1 or 2. In fact, there are some CGI shots that look really bad. Most of it's pretty good, and some of it's like yikes. You could have spent a couple extra days on that shot. There's one shot where Wolverine is running and you're like he's like doing all fours and you're like it looked so bad. It was
Really?
awful. There's a scene where Deadpool's katana clips through his body. He's doing this. It's in the trailer. It's in the trailer,
Yeah.
and they didn't fix it for the movie. He's got it on his back, and he like bends over and flings it out, and it flips around, and he catches it. But as it comes out, so here's my straw. Okay, it comes out of his back, and flips. Okay, this is the handle. Okay, it's supposed to come. It's supposed to slide out of his back, flip around, and he catches it.
Yeah.
Into the camera, right? It's one of those shots.
Yeah.
But it
Well, now you've done it.
I dropped it. It literally just clips through his body.
Oh no. That's too bad.
And
And they didn't catch it, huh?
no, but people pointed it out in the trailers, and they didn't. They did catch it. They didn't fix it. So,
Yikes.
if you liked the Deadpool movies, it's more of that. If you liked 1 and 2, you'll love this. I think it's probably better than 2. Probably not as good as 1. I don't love the Deadpool movies. Like that, it's just I get people love them. That's fine. It's not my personal kind of humor. I find his character more annoying than funny. Some of the jokes do land really well. Some of the jokes are hilarious, but it gets really tiresome for me. It's like a juvenile humor that I think Deadpool works much better as a side character. I think when he's the lead, it gets tiresome. That's my personal preference. I get that his character is done well. It's a good portrayal of, like, I'm not complaining about comic accuracy. It's just he's never been my favorite character. I have never loved him. I also don't like nudity. So I didn't like. I don't like the sex in Deadpool 1. In fact, I actually watched it edited. I didn't see that in theaters. And I appreciated that there was a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2.
That was nice, yeah.
It was actually kind of funny. The framing of Deadpool 2 with doing the whole the Princess Bride thing. It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah,
okay,
it was good.
and I think it's better than the original version. I'm not turned off by language in movies or TV, but with the Deadpool movies, it's very clear that a lot of it is just there because it's there, you know? Like in comedy, swearing is a crutch. It can be used really well, it can be used effectively, but also it's just instant automatic laughs to have someone do a swear word in a situation where you shouldn't swear, or have a character who doesn't normally swear. Like it's cheap comedy. And so I don't love the Deadpool movies because of that, because it feels like they're just throwing out F-bombs left and right because they can, and not because it's structured well. Okay? So it's not language in and of itself that pulls me out of a movie. It's when it's lazy that it does. So again, some of the jokes work really well, some of them don't. I think if you liked 1 and 2, you'll love this, and especially if you liked the old Fox X-Men movies and the stuff that came out before the MCU. There's a lot of really fun cameos that give fun moments to the characters. I don't think they're as effective as Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that number 3?
Yeah.
Right? Because the cameos you get in that movie make the original films better, right? It absolutely, like, it gives closure for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Well, it doesn't give closure. It gives a nice little bow tie to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and it retroactively makes Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies better, and they're not good, but like it totally makes his Spider-Man like 500 times better than it was.
Yeah,
and it gives his character closure. So like those cameos are fun because then the movie sucks. The movie's not good plot wise; it's terrible, but it's worth watching because the cameos are so good and the character work is so good. The action is garbage. And
I like it.
The plot is terrible.
I remember when we talked about it, there was a lot of things that, you know, they kind of...
There is no plot. The plot is paper thin, and it doesn't... It's not... It just... There's nothing to it.
Yeah, but I think the fun thing with Deadpool, and I haven't seen them, but knowing Deadpool's character, like the whole like breaking the fourth wall, I think is really what gives him a lot of the strength of his character, is that he interacts a lot more with the audience than a lot of the other characters that you see in the MCU and in those other movies. And that's what's fun, is because he's literally, he's swearing at you, like he's interrupting this action because he's pausing and talking to the audience and saying, "Oh shoot, like, I messed up here," or whatever, And I always love those types of movies because they add a different sort of feel to the movie.
There's too much of that in this.
That's kind of why I like those. But, yeah.
There are a lot of,
and
there's a good portion of Deadpool and Wolverine that like legitimately feels slow, because it slows down so much to just have people talking. So I didn't love it. I think it's fine.
With the fourth wall, you have to do it right. If you do it too much, or if you
it wasn't even breaking the fourth wall. It was just, because the jokes inherently, all of them break the fourth wall, right?
Yeah,
but before we get on to that, like to the cameos, right? The cameos worked really well in Spider-Man, the cameos in Wolverine are funny. They don't have that same kind of like, oh, we're bringing this character back to like give him a good character arc. They get good moments. They give the cameos a lot of screen time, and they each get a cool moment, but it's not like character growth.
Yeah.
Like so it's kind of hollow, and I don't think that this movie is going to be nearly as rewatchable as Spider-Man. I haven't rewatched Spider-Man. I'm probably not going to rewatch this. I think a lot of people will. You know, if you're a big fan of Deadpool, it's just more Deadpool. And it's absolutely carried by the chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. They're really, really great together, and it's fun to finally see them together because everyone wanted that for so long.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
it's done well. Not a bad movie. I don't think it has cultural staying power, you know? It's making a lot of money. It's already made them almost half a billion.
That's great. Yeah, that's great news.
So I think it's at like 400 million something. So like
Well, been out 3 days, 2 days.
it's gonna be successful, okay? But it doesn't even take place in the MCU. That's the spoiler, okay? It has a scene in the MCU, which doesn't make any sense. It's a huge plot hole. He's trying to get on the Avengers. It's like the opening scene. Not much of a spoiler. He's talking with Happy, applying to be a part of the Avengers, and they reject him. And it says, "Oh, this is in the Avengers universe," and then it goes back to his universe, and you're like, and it's not explained how he got to the Avengers universe, and which is fine if it's just a one-off joke, but then the entire plot of the movie is getting stuck in a different universe and having to find a way to get out of it. When the movie opened with him jumping between universes. So that really bothered me. It was a funny joke to have, oh no, he's not good for the Avengers team, right? And but yeah, there were some missed opportunities too. Like the movie gets cliche too. It does the whole have the characters break up off screen in between movies. He's trying to win they're broken up and he's trying to win her back the entire movie.
No, I hate it when that happens.
Because and it's his fault because he was depressed because the Avengers rejected him. And you're like, and they don't even it could have worked if they made fun of it. If they said, yeah, this is a trope. I can't believe I'm doing it too. But it was unironic. It was unironically cliche. So I know it sounds like I didn't like this movie. I enjoyed myself in the theater. It could have been so much better. Some of the action was actually kind of stale too. It reminded me of No Way Home okay, this is clearly a different team. This is no longer the Fox team. This is the Disney made by committee boring action. None of it. There's one good scene in the middle of the movie. There's the car fight scene is fantastic. I wasn't impressed with any of the other fight scenes. It was just there. It was just bland or happening too fast to be able to see what was going on. Just throwing a whole bunch of spaghetti at the screen. It was really hard to track. There was nothing that stood out. And I can remember, I haven't seen the movies in years, but I can remember really good fight scenes from 1 and 2. Like I can remember the choreography in my head. I don't remember any of the choreography from this except for the one fight scene in the middle of the movie. It starts off with a really clever idea. The opening credits fight scene is a good idea that goes on for 10 minutes. And you're like, okay, we get it. It's not funny anymore. And then they do something at the very end that you're like, okay, that was clever when he puts on the claws. And you're like, okay, that was cool. It wasn't worth sitting through 10 minutes. it was a good joke. It was a good idea. They're like, hey, I bet you're wondering, talking to the audience, I bet you're wondering how we're going to pull this off without completely disrespecting the legacy that was Logan. Because everyone loved Logan. It was a great send-off. And they're like, we're not. And then he digs up his corpse, pulls out his skeleton, and uses it to beat up a bunch of bad guys. It was a funny idea. Funny joke that went on for 10 minutes, just him pulling apart the bones and using them to kill the bad guys. And you're like, none of it was memorable at all. Like, I can't remember any of the choreography until the one moment at the very end where he puts on Wolverine's claws. And that was it. Sorry, I've been missing some of these comments. Marvel's been doing funny in every movie. So having a Deadpool movie is meant to play up that funny. Yeah. Winds up being too much. And the Marvel funny has not been funny. Yeah, that's a different problem, though. So, I liked the movie. It also felt a little generic, but it's worth it for it's got some fun stuff in there. Yeah. But I just don't love Deadpool as a character. I think it's too crass, too juvenile, and not as clever as people think it is. Right? It's like the people who get like really, really excited about Rick and Morty, and you're like, oh, it's the best. You're like, yeah, it's funny. It's also not as smart as you think it is. you know?
Yeah.
Like Community is it's same creator. It's much smarter.
It's the same creator. The same guys did Community.
It's Dan Harmon.
I had no idea.
No, not Deadpool. Rick and Morty.
That's what I said. Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Right? Rick and Morty and Community. Same guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Community is much smarter than Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, the first couple seasons, yeah, pretty smart, and then it's like, okay, Dan Harmon isn't doing the writing anymore, right?
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about Deadpool. Like I just don't love him. I don't hate him either. He's not my guy. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I think the movie's fine. It in no way saves the MCU. It doesn't even take place in the MCU, except for the first scene. They introduced the TVA to get him to jump around, and the whole thing is that the Fox universe is dying because it got sold to Disney, right? And it's a meta. It's clever. It's a meta commentary. They're like the main character of the Fox universe died in Logan. Wolverine is the main character, and so now the universe is dissipating. It's going to be destroyed. And so they bring in Deadpool. They're like, hey, you could just come into the MCU if you wanted. You can finally matter. And he's like, no, I want to save my universe. And so like you think it's setting it up to transplant the characters that they want to keep into the MCU. They don't even touch it. They save the Fox universe and stay there.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the MCU.
That's funny.
It might make $1 billion. Honestly, I hope it does. I think it does a good service to the character, and it does some good fan service for the older movies that you liked. It makes some really cool, super old references of people who were gonna play things. Do you want me to spoil it?
I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch it, so I'm fine.
Okay. Okay, if you don't want anything spoiled, just cover your ears for like 10 seconds, okay? They do. Here's the spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They do Channing Tatum as Gambit.
I was gonna ask if they brought Gambit in.
And they make him retarded on purpose. Like his accent is horrible. And it's funny. It's kind of fun to see him. They bring back Wesley Snipes as Blade, which was fun. They bring back Elektra, and they bring back X-23 and have them do some fun stuff. They get some fun moments. But the best cameo by far is you get 10 seconds of Henry Cavill
What?
as a Wolverine variant. And it's
That's great.
perfect. That's the best part of the movie. He says one line because Deadpool is trying to find a new Wolverine to replace the one from his universe. And he looked so good. If they don't do a Henry Cavill Wolverine, like, they're idiots.
That's funny.
Like, it was perfection.
Wow, that's really funny.
And then there's another funny cameo. They bring back Chris Evans for a brief cameo, and you think he's playing Captain America, and then he turns into Johnny Storm. Because you see part of his blue suit, and you're like, oh, it's Captain America, and then he flame on, turns into Johnny Storm, and then gets killed. Right?
That's funny.
That one was really funny, but by far Henry Cavill was the best part. Okay, spoilers over. You're good. Yeah. So, I think it does some good. It honors a lot of stuff from the past, teases some stuff that'll probably never happen, and it's okay. It's fine, and it's once again the best Marvel movie, and it's not even in the MCU, right? It's Sony. Sony made No Way Home. And Disney technically made this, and they didn't even use it to push the MCU. Yeah. I don't get it. Anyway, that's Deadpool Wolverine. I also saw Twisters. Twisters was fun.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No one wanted it. No one wanted it. No one asked for it. I heard the announcement, and I threw up in the bathroom. And then my wife saw Glenn Powell in the trailer and said, we're going to go see the movie.
Every time.
But, yeah, honestly, once I saw the trailer too, I was like, hey, this actually looks pretty good. It's a pretty good movie.
No.
It's got some pretty good homages to the first movie. It's not perfect. There are a couple things that are like, that, just like continuity errors where you're like, that was really stupid. I don't know why you like brought that up and then dropped the ball. It's a good movie. There are a couple things that bothered me, but I enjoyed it. I think it's worth watching. Twisters is a good movie.
Yeah, I think
they want to do another Terminator. I don't care. I haven't watched since T2, so
I haven't seen any of them. But yeah, I was telling you before that I watched the day one though, the Silent Place.
Yeah,
Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. I was like,
yeah,
that's
Quiet
not
Place.
Quiet Place day one. From what I've heard, it's fine and also completely unnecessary, just like Twisters 2.
well, here's my thing with that one. Like, okay, first off, it's not really a spoiler. So, the whole movie for this particular one is about going to get pizza. That's essentially all. It's about going to get pizza. And
what?
So that was my first call where I was like, this movie is kind of weird. It's literally about going to get pizza.
Why?
I mean, and like, it's kind of sweet, like the reasoning behind, like, yeah, okay, like I get it, but like if you think about it, 100%,
it's for one of the kids, right? It's to preserve the innocence of a kid who's in the cast. It's like, oh, we're just gonna go out for pizza, and there's no monsters.
No.
Okay. It's just a plug for like Little Caesars.
No.
It's just an advertisement. They made a prequel to a franchise just to advertise Little Caesars.
No.
It's their new thin crust pizza, isn't it?
There you go. Well, I mean, the way that
I've seen I haven't gone to Little Caesar in years. Dude, I've seen hundreds of ads for Little Caesar's new thin crust pizza.
What? So that was the one thing. The second thing that I thought was ridiculous is
no. Don't explain. Spoil it for me. What?
Okay.
All right. What are you talking about?
Okay. So basically, the premise behind this is that it starts out with this woman, and she's in hospice because she has cancer. So she's dying of cancer. And they go into New York City to go watch, just to get him out of the hospice and to go and get them to try to liven them up a little bit and
to get a classic slice of a New York pizza.
Well, so they say, hey, let's go into let's go into the town, into the city, and she's persistent. She says, hey, if we go into the city, can we get some pizza on our way back? So they're like, yeah, okay, we can get some pizza. But then when they're in the city, that's when the aliens come and crash in and attack everybody.
So the aliens kill everybody, right? And they're like, look,
there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Life isn't worth living anymore, but at least before the aliens kill me, I'd still want to have my slice of New York pizza, right? And so they break into Lil Stevens. I don't know what's a famous New York pizza place.
I don't know.
Giovanni's. They break into Giovanni's and they kidnap Giovanni. He's still alive, chained up in a bed. And they're like, okay, Giovanni, make me a slice of pizza before I die. And he starts, they're doing it all quiet, slides it into the oven. Oh, let's turn it. Okay. We gotta silently make this pizza. And he puts it in, and he pulls it out, slides it on the table, and it's his final pizza cooked to perfection. And he goes, Mamma mia, and then gets eaten by an alien.
No, but that's the thing. Like
no, you made a noise.
Going like that, yeah. But essentially, what the whole reason was behind it.
You stole that from The Office, okay? I know where that joke's from.
Basically, she's like, "Hey, I want this pizza." They get attacked, so obviously they catch on and say, "Hey, okay, we got to be quiet." So they're starting to be quiet, but she's still really set on getting this pizza because, before her father passed away, one of her last memories when she was young is he was a famous musician,
and he kidnapped Giovanni when he was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. No. So he would play in this bar, and afterwards, they would go and get pizza. And so basically, it was like as her last moments.
Okay, so she's already had the pizza. She just wants nostalgia.
Yeah, so she just wanted to remember her father and have.
My plot was better.
So she just wanted to have some pizza. The other thing that was ridiculous is she has this cat that literally is her pet, and she loves this cat. And like throughout the whole movie,
oh yeah, I saw people talking about this. The joke was like, yeah, I guess cats could survive, but dogs would be dead immediately because
I don't even understand how a cat could survive. Those guys
they don't make noise.
They are so loud. They're constantly meowing and purring and knocking stuff off the table. There's no way that a cat could survive something like that. And she has one the whole time.
Dude, and my neighbor's cat as a kid could open up doors. Okay? No, cats are friggin' smart.
Hey,
okay?
I get that they're smart, but they're noisy too. There's no way that they could be quiet. Right? Like they are so quiet. They are so noisy.
They're quieter than dogs.
Maybe, but they're still not silent. I think that would have given them away so many times, and they're just trying to save this cat so many times, right? And the hissing.
The cat gets them into trouble multiple times.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, like just forget about the cat.
Just eat it. Like eat the cat, okay?
Yeah. So there was a bunch of stuff like that where I'm like, dude.
And I'm a cat person, okay? I love cats.
Yeah.
If it's an apocalypse,
forget the cat.
Human life is more important, okay?
Yeah, exactly. And so eventually they like she ends up sacrificing herself, and her partner that she had run into randomly in the middle of all.
She sacrifices herself for the cat?
No, for the this random partner that they meet up in the middle, and he ends up following her around, and they form a bond or whatever. And so she sacrificed herself so that he can finally get out. Because after they get the pizza, then they're finally like, okay, now we can evacuate this dang island.
Wait, who makes them pizza?
No one. They just find a stale pizza, and they eat the stale pizza. That's what it's such a weird, like, that was the one thing. So they finally find this freaking stale pizza, and they're eating it, and they're like, yep, it sucks, but hey, we got our pizza. but yeah, so but then they're like, okay, now we can actually try to escape. And so I was like, okay, it was kind of a weird plot. Maybe not my favorite movie.
Look,
Definitely not as good as the first one or the second one. But
look, okay. I am very reasonable. Okay. I personally don't like dogs. I was attacked by a dog when I was a kid
oh no,
who almost bit off my nutsack. And
Oof.
I was bleeding from my leg. It almost got my leg artery, right? And then I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I really don't like dogs. Okay? But I completely understand the, dog is a man's best friend thing. I don't. I get that there is a stronger bond there than
Yeah.
cats, okay? I prefer cats because they're less maintenance and they're soft.
They're
And
very.
I don't like that dogs lick you and sniff your butt and lick your fingers. And for some reason, even though I'm not a dog person, dogs love me and will always come in a room full of dog lovers. Without fail, dogs will come straight to me and slobber and stink all over me. And their breath stinks.
Dogs, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That
Too
being
bad.
said, if I lived in the country, I would 100% own a dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I get it. Like, dogs are useful, and like, there are some dogs that are so well trained that, like, I like them too. Okay, but I personally don't love dogs.
I love
Like,
dogs, but I'm allergic to them.
I
So
kind of hate them, and
can't
also, if you live in the city and you own a dog, I think you're a bad person.
because there's nowhere for them to run around and be active.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely a dog person, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty allergic to them, so I can't do anything about it.
I feel like that's a very reasonable take for someone who legitimately I hate dogs.
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, so that was the Quiet Place, and the whole time I was like, what a weird narrative that they're just trying to escape these aliens so they
It's
can
about
get the
pizza, and then they just like walk off into the sunset holding hands with pizza, or what?
No, so they get the pizza, and then
all die.
then she sacrificed herself, so she dies. It never actually shows her dying, but she just is alone and dies.
Oh, because she's got cancer.
Yeah, 'cause she's got cancer, and then the guy that was with her for part of the movie ends up escaping and getting on the lifeboat, basically, that is leaving the island. So it's like, okay, it's like, I mean, there were some interesting parts that, because there was definitely some parts where it's like, hey, like, what would you do, right? Like, if someone's being noisy, right? Like, and they're obviously going to be bringing people like those aliens to you, like, how far are you willing to go? So there was some stuff like that made the plot a little more interesting. But at the same time, I was like, if you break it down to its basic level, it's just about them going to get pizza.
Right. Hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with like a dumbed down plot like that, right? You can have a paper thin plot like Deadpool and Wolverine and still have a good movie, right?
Yeah, and it was enjoyable. But
like, not everything needs to be, the Game of Thrones intricate, Dune style political intrigue. Like, you can have just a regular guy and still tell a cool story if the character work is good, right?
Yeah, and it was good. It was fine. But yeah, I thought it was funny, and I went with my brother, and he thought the same thing. So
well, Jared, did you know? We're done talking about the Acolyte, but there were a couple articles.
really,
I remember last week we were trying to figure out why OSHA kills Soul in the end. But Leslie Headland answered the question.
really.
Yeah, she says, yeah, why does she kill Soul? Like, we were like, oh, is it the heat of revenge? And she's in the heat of the moment, she's overcome with hatred because he killed her mommy, even though she turned into a evil fart in front of his eyes and was disintegrating a child. He did it. I would have done the same thing. It looked like she was killing her. Yeah, you want to know what the answer is?
Yeah. What did she say the reason was?
Benign sexism.
What? No. What?
OSHA killed Soul and the Acolyte because he was imposing benign sexism on her. Remember the hour-long discussion that we had about how it's my firm opinion and blatantly obvious that they think she's the good guy here?
Yeah,
they think that OSHA is a good character, morally good.
So she's like, "Hey, this guy's obviously being sexist."
Yeah, and then Dark Jared was like, "Oh, well, I don't really see it that way. She's justified. She's just misunderstood. She's fighting sexism. She's a warrior." Oh, she looks so stupid. This mask thing, her stupid COVID mask, looks so dumb.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Uh-huh. You're absolutely right. There's this thing that's called benign sexism. Paternal protectionism. Because he cares about her. He's sexist.
Seems like this...
Because he wants to keep her safe, she killed him. It seems like a good thing. Because it is.
I have to protect you.
But like I said, there's this I have to protect...
What in the world? I need to support you. I need to be good to you.
These are all good things! I'm about to use some malignant sexism.
Ultimately, what happens is this is a father-daughter relationship. Great.
As women evolve, their lives, they develop their own personalities and kill their fathers. At some point, they're just going to have to murder their dads.
See, that isn't true at all. It's like you can still.
This woman is a psychopath.
Obviously, you need to become independent, and you need to rely on.
And I'm so proud of it.
Wow. Yeah, that one's a tough one to swallow.
The daughter has to surpass him in some way. Why?
That's funny that we both asked this.
Why? Look, like, why does she have to be better than him? Look, as a parent, I want that. I want my kids to surpass me in every way.
Yeah.
But not to belittle me, but because I love them. It's my sexism, you might add. You might...
That's ridiculous. I reject what you've told me I need to do to make you proud. To make you proud, not to kill you. To follow in your footsteps. Wow.
He is imposing on her agency at that point. No? He did when she was a kid.
Yeah, they haven't even seen each other.
But
for
she
years.
didn't need it. She needed his acceptance, not his approval, but his accept. That's not how parenting works, bud.
No.
You get acceptance once you've earned approval. Or you earn acceptance once you've gotten approval.
Wow. Yeah, this is
That's what gives her the energy to do the final fist clench.
Not a great phrase. Definitely not.
He wanted my approval. Or no. He wanted.
She wanted his approval. Yeah, his acceptance.
I don't want your approval. I want your acceptance. Accept me for who I am, an evil person who thinks murdering is okay. Accept me! Accept me! It literally falls right in line with what we've been talking about during this whole show. These people are not happy. Okay? Living their complete debauchery. Okay? Their Satanism. Okay? Their self-worship. Their complete disregard for future rewards in place of instant gratification. Okay? These live your true self. Okay? You it's not enough. It's never enough. Wickedness never was happiness.
Yeah.
And when they realize that, when they realize they have everything they've been fighting for, everything they want, and they're still not happy, the only thing left is either change, repent, or get people to tell you that it's okay. That's the entire LGBTP lineup. Okay? It does not bring you happiness. The only happiness that they can get is by people telling them that it's okay.
Yeah, that's really
Because they know it's not. They've done it, they've lived it. They know it's not enough.
I was gonna say this.
They are lying to themselves, and now they want you to perpetuate the lie.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like she's trying to just like come up with an explanation for why that could be a good decision, and it's not.
Accept me. No. As a parent, I cannot accept what is wrong. Doesn't mean I would love my kids any less for making bad choices, but I'm not going to say it's okay.
You definitely got to teach them what's right and wrong,
Right, like
so that they can learn for themselves.
that's not love. It's not loving to just let kids do whatever they want and pick their own bedtimes. It is in fact loving to make your kids go to bed because it's healthy and you know what's better for them. Kids are stupid. They are morons. And it's your job as a parent to ingrain into them good habits. And it's not by accepting. It's by approving. If you do a good thing, you get approval. If you do a bad thing, you don't. And if you become a good person, you are accepted. And if you don't, you're not. Anyway, this is the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah, that's pretty. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think after my 110th hookup and my 12th cat, I will be happy. That's exactly it. Like, this makes me sad. I feel like I need to do a whole video on this. I gotta save this. I said that last week too, and I didn't end up doing it. I've been busy. Okay. But The Acolyte was the most popular show this week. Okay, say it with me. Okay, this is a lie. Rotten Tomatoes is lying to you. The Acolyte has not charted since like episode 3. It dropped off the charts.
Wait. See, but this one says 25 most popular TV shows. So they just had to expand the list a little bit.
It's not the most. Okay, Jared, say it with me. Engagement is not popularity.
Oh, okay.
Just because people are Googling The Acolyte doesn't mean they're watching it. It's not the same thing. And it sure as hell was not the most popular show last week. Okay, moving on.
I was gonna say that one right there is pretty bad too. It's a masterpiece. Wow. No, I don't think so.
Because if you follow someone who actually brings you facts, The Acolyte is a disaster. It disappeared from ratings after the 3rd week.
Yeah. 3rd episode. Bye.
Bridgerton, The Boys, Perfect Match, Sweet Tooth, Love Island, Evil, Perfect Wife, America's Sweethearts, Mayor of Kingstown, King of Collectibles was more popular than The Acolyte. Bluey is currently getting more views than The Acolyte. It always was. And Disney doesn't own Bluey. Anyway, David sent me this one, and he's not here. The Acolyte star Amanda Seinberg reveals she figured out the finale's Sith Lord cameo. Oh, the Plagueis? Because of her vast Star Wars lore knowledge? Because it's the most popular meme of all time. Have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I don't want to read this. I knew Plagueis was going to be in the show before we started filming, and that's because I got really weird about the lore. No, you didn't. I pieced it together. So I said, okay, we're going to have twins created by Force magic, so that means, yeah. Everyone figured that out. We just didn't think they'd be stupid enough to actually show Plagueis.
Was that the guy in the shadow? Is that what?
Yeah, because he shouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
Or at maximum, he could be 14 years old at the time this show airs. So.
Certainly knows her lore.
Yeah, we all figured it out too. We just thought it was retarded. Anyway, this was funny, and it happened this week. The adult actress from the movie Star Wars, Princess Leia, had a hot take on The Acolyte, and it was, I just watched The Acolyte, and I think I can officially say I've been in better written Star Wars movies. What a great...
That's sad. That's really sad. Oh, that's really sad. Oh, that's too funny, though.
They have... Look, I'm a good Christian boy. I don't like pornography, but I really like their titles.
My gosh. My goodness.
House of the Dragon. That's it. That's what we got left. Do you like it?
There was a lot more emotional play in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting to see how they're using more of the people to fight the battle, right? Like I think that's what's great about it is that you're seeing that it's not always won on the battlefield, right? Like these are things that are fought on, right. How you treat people and how you care about the people that you're serving, and it was great to see the part where they send the food in and everyone's like, look, she cares about us even still because she knows we're starving and she sent us food. It's like,
no, I love the propaganda. Right. It's like, and one of the best lines was like, but it's like, hey, the people aren't happy, and Aemon's like, it's not my fault. It's Rhaenyra who's doing the blockade, and he's like, dude, the people don't care. Yeah. You're in charge, and they don't have food. It's your fault in their eyes. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Like, the masses can be very easily manipulated, okay? Let's see. We got to see the Lannister twins. The one of them's on the council, and the other one is leading a battle.
Yeah,
It was fun to see both of them like back to back.
Well, but he was still just like, I'm not going anywhere until I get that dragon.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like the dragons are like integral to it. It's really well balanced. Like the dragons are obviously integral to the fighting, but they can't win the wars by themselves. Like it's not just this. They're glass cannons, right?
Yeah,
they can do damage, and they can also you can lose it in a second.
Yeah.
So it's really smart. It's really well written. George
I also really like.
Martin.
Yeah, I really liked how
I'm not going unless I get a dragon. That's not what happened last time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see how they're getting more of the dragons, right? So like how they dropped the bombshell about how those two guys are actually sons.
Yeah, they're bastards.
Yeah, and then how
I like it. Was it this episode or the last one where he was shaving his head? That was great.
No, that was this episode. Yeah, so that was this episode, and they're talking about how they're his sons, and that's where you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too about where it mentioned the wild dragon, and how that one woman that's out, kind of in the middle of nowhere protecting the heirs. She's like, you can tell she's thinking to herself, oh yeah,
the one who's in the Erie.
Yeah.
The Rhaenyra's daughter.
Yeah.
No, not Rhaenyra. She's the Valerian protecting Rhaenyra's kids.
Yeah. And she you can see her thinking to herself, "Oh, maybe I've got another shot to try to tame a dragon and be a dragon rider."
Yeah, that's a slight change from the books. It doesn't matter too much. I think I know what they're doing, and it's just it's just moving some pieces to a different place to streamline some stuff.
So yeah, I mean, I think it was really good. There was definitely a lot more emotional stuff, and I gotta say, I love this stuff with Damien. Like
Damon's finally got it took way too long.
And his brother,
and he still hasn't done anything.
No, not yet.
But Damon is finally getting the entire season of him on drugs is getting interesting now.
Yeah. Well,
we didn't talk about last week's with his mom issues.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
When it started, I was like, wait, is that his brother's wife? It's his brother's wife, right? I can't remember what she looked like. It's his mom.
Yeah, and then
I was like, oh, that's an interesting dynamic. They're implying that he was in love with his brother's wife. Nope. Okay.
Nope. Yeah.
Okay. That's not what that was.
No, and but yeah, I loved just how touching it was this time with him trying to comfort his brother and trying to work through that where he
I hope we're done.
Hurt him.
I hope we're done with this. He needs to. Yeah. Well, here's the problem. I've noticed on Twitter, normies really, really hate the Damon stuff because it's filler, but also, he didn't have anything to do in the books right now. Mm. So I like that they're giving him something in the meantime. But I also empathize with non-book readers. So come on, he's the best character. Give him something to do.
I don't know. I haven't read the books, and for me, I think it's great character development.
I think it's good as well, and I really think it's going to pay off later when he does get to do more stabbing. Well, I love Paddy Constantine, man. Just seeing him for 10 seconds and delivering a line that we already got, nothing new.
Wait, who's that guy?
His brother, the king, Viserys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Paddy Constantine. So good. And we got nothing new from him.
Yeah.
It's a direct quote from a line he's already got, He's so good. He is so good. And the whole I wasn't there for you, I'm sorry. It's really, really good character development for Damon. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that part of it. And yeah, maybe it felt a little bit slower. I mean, I didn't think it felt slower because you really get more into the development of these characters, which
Right.
is always
The-
important. Like you get
Like, I don't think
their-
if you look at
their
this
motive.
episode in isolation, it's not slow, but he's been there the whole season, just
Yeah.
tripping on mushrooms, right?
Yeah,
It's a little slow,
yeah, absolutely.
but I think it's absolutely going to pay off, and I think by the end of the season, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, it was slow, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't think it's too slow. I can sympathize.
yeah,
Okay. And I appreciate that they're working him into the plot
yeah.
when you don't get anything for him for a couple chapters in the book, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess
Yeah.
not chapters, but
And the other thing that I think they've always done so well, like it's the dragons. Like the dragons are
it looks so good.
like them
Sea
themselves.
Smoke. Sea Smoke
look-
is so good. He's best.
Right?
Best.
Like-
Sea Smoke is the best boy. Okay.
It's crazy how much detail and how much they
Sea Smoke
put
looks
into those
so
things.
good.
And they look really good, and you can tell they've got, they feel like actual creatures, that have feelings, and they like that they're smart and wise like a dragon, like they are so like that's what I loved about this particular one, is that you start to see this sort of this wisdom that dragons are always known for, where they can sense that blood in the
Yeah.
person, right? And they can sense that heritage. So I really love that sort of that connection that you start to see where you kind of think that you might get a glimpse of it in the first, before he chars the dude, but then later when he actually finds his rider. So it was pretty. I thought that was wonderful. Like I've always been amazed by the dragons. The dragons just look so awesome.
What is what's Daddy Valerian's name? I always forget it. Leonor's daddy, and the father of the two of Alan and Adam.
I don't know.
It's not coming up on Google. Anyway, yeah. So the dragon brings up a specific issue. Technically, George has said that a dragon cannot bond a new person until their rider is dead, which implies that Lenore died off screen and he doesn't get the happy gay ending, right?
Oh, so which one is?
So Sea Smoke is Lenore's dragon. He was Rhaenyra's husband, the gay one,
Oh, the first one.
who rides off into the sunset with his lover
I see.
and
it,
gets
yeah.
the only happy. So people are like, you got rid of his happy ending because he has to be dead now. But I think it's very specific. I think he's still alive, and it's a bit of a retcon of what George has said, but it also plays into like the reason why he rejected the first rider, even though like, hey, it looks like it should work. It's because he still has a rider that he rejects the first one, and Alan is directly or is it Adam, or it's Alan who gets the dragon?
Yeah, I think it's
Alan is directly related to Lenore and looks very similar. And I think that's the reason why he gets bonded to Sea Smoke. So I don't think this is the show saying Lenore died off screen. I think it's reinforcing the fact that he's still alive, that he's bonded to Alan specifically. And I think that's a cool touch.
Yeah, yeah.
Slight retcon of previous canon, but I think it's better. I think like George is working on the show. He likes to say, no, I'm just like, he's absolutely involved in the decision making of the show. He's not just working on Winds of Winter. He's not working on Winds of Winter. Okay. Like, he can't say it publicly because he'll get eviscerated.
I thought I already did. Anyway.
But he is more involved than they are letting on in the show.
Yeah. No, but it's really good. I think it's definitely been. I mean, the whole.
Sorry, and I think it's because we've been worried about a lot of these changes, right? Like they're making changes in these books. They're like, oh, I don't know about that, and then it turns out, wait, no, that was actually a genius decision. Like it'd be impossible for George not to be involved, right? Like making the Valerians black. That's not like the whole plot of the book is that they have bastard kids, right? And people don't know who they are. But if the daddy's a black, it's going to be super obvious. And I was like, this is going to be a huge plot issue in the story. But it turns out it wasn't an issue. It made the story better because everyone knew that they were bastards. And so it was so ridiculous of the king to say no one's allowed to say the thing that everyone knows. Right? It made it so much better. And there's been a lot of changes like that where you're like, oh, I don't know about that. It actually makes things better, though, which is something we're going to talk about at the end of this episode as well. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to go into the whole end scene, basically, with Rhaenyra.
Okay. Before we get into that, we had Aemon in the council, kind of realizing he's not completely under control. Daemon going crazy and pulling the knife on what's the fat guy in the castle? So great. I'm loving his performance.
He's been doing a really good job.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
He's like, hey, I'm just here to give you a message. Like, don't kill me.
Right. We got some more of the other bastards in King's Landing who you can kind of guess where that's going to go now, right? With the whole dragon seed stuff.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about
all the side characters where you've been saying, why are these people in the show?
Yeah.
Now you know. Yeah. But they're still in King's Landing, so let's see. Aemon. Oh, Aemon talking to his brother was great. I don't remember anything. I promise. I swear. No. I don't remember. I don't remember that you tried to kill me. Please. Good stuff. But that
is the thing, because there was a little bit of speculation on whether or not that was actually, Aemon's intent or whatnot.
Not anymore.
No, right? It's like it's definitely a lot clearer, and you
get Lady Jane in the Eyrie, which you already talked about. You get the little bastards. You get yeah. Before we get to the end scene, we got to talk about one of the other best characters on the show is Rhaenyra's son.
Oh,
curly hair boy.
Jace.
Luke's dead. This one's Jace.
Yeah, I think it's Jace.
Jace is fantastic.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed his performance. He's done a really good job.
But he's also getting work done.
Yeah.
He was good in the last episode, too. His little bartering and scheming. So good. Right, yeah. Okay. People are unrest.
I mean, and it's hard, too, because, like, and with him in this episode, you can see that he's constantly trying to kind of rely on Daemon, too, right? So it's like, hey, we need Daemon. So, I mean, I think with the last episode, it should have shown you that he had a little bit more confidence in not just the efforts of Daemon, but they could do a little more without him.
But also, he's right.
Yeah, I mean,
if they don't have other dragon riders, they need Daemon.
Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of other options.
Okay, the Alicent Hightower has a pretty important part in this episode where she's finally called out for just being the worst mom ever. And you finally get to see yeah, she knows, right? She's talking to her brother. Great scene with her and her brother. I love how she's been going out to talk to Kristen every time he leaves, right? And give him a little goodbye kiss, right?
Yeah.
And she was doing that again. She was clearly going to talk to Kristen and then sees her brother and she's like, crap. I should probably talk to my brother. And then says, "I'm a good mom, right?" No, I'm a bad mom.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, we do mention her other. Yeah, so I kept forgetting how many dragons they have left, and the reason why is because one of her dragons is off screen. So they do have another dragon. Her son that they mentioned in that scene, he's got a dragon.
Well, so now they only have two. They have Vagar and.
So, no. They have Vagar, but he can't leave.
Yeah.
And they have the Queen's dragon, but she can't fly. And then her son.
I didn't know she was a dragon rider.
Yes, she's a dragon rider, but she's useless. She's checked out mentally. She was already a weirdo, and like the death of her son broke her. She's incapable of fighting.
Okay.
And then her other son, in this scene, she's sent away from King's Landing. He has a dragon too.
Oh.
But he's not there.
I see. I didn't realize he had one too.
Well, because I forgot about him. I didn't remember him. So.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was like, yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, and then we got the Laris machinations with Aemon. You got Laris trying to position himself to be Hand of the King.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to manipulate Aemon just like he's been doing with everyone else, and then Aemon would be like, "Okay, that's a great idea. Go get my daddy. Go get my granddaddy."
I actually really like that because
great scene.
I hate how that Laris has been just weaseling his way in.
Well, but it works with everyone else except for Aemon, who just doesn't give a crap about diplomacy, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Dude, I know what you're doing, but I'm not gonna do the double speak with you."
Yeah.
And then we get Dragon bonding with Alan off screen, and then we get the final scene, which now we can talk about. Okay, I'm assuming you had some issues, right?
No, so that's the thing. I actually think that it's let's see.
No. Not with what happens, but with how it's set up. / is it set up at all?
Well, so this is the way that I'm seeing it, is that like I think that like you start to kind of see these moments that they've shared, right? Like I mean, and I watched a little bit of the scenes afterwards, obviously. So they gave a little bit of insight into it, but like the thing that I thought was nice is that you kind of see that she's basically alone, right? She's this woman that's surrounded by men, and Rhaenyra, or Rhaenys, her aunt, right? Like she really looked up to her, and then she's really like appreciated her and confided in her and used her counsel, and and then all of a sudden she's dead. And so, of course, she's going to turn to, this other woman that feels like, they can connect, and they can counsel together, and a lot of, so she confides in her and trusts her.
Yeah,
you can start to see this building, and then it's those moments, those little moments that they, if you let them simmer, then they can develop into something a little bit stronger. And so I think it was actually well done how they did it and how they kind of set it up.
I'll push back a little bit. I agree with most of what you said. And this is a book change. Okay.
I was wondering if it was.
Rhaenyra is bi in the books. It doesn't really come up. Like, it's just kind of mentioned offhand. Like, her and Daemon aren't like exclusive, right? They go off and they do other things.
Yeah.
But there's also a little bit of jealousy there. Okay. Like, they care for each other, but also they're both not like morally chaste. Okay. So it's not a book change in that regard. Okay. It's never stated that there's a romance between her and Miss Area. So showing it is a change that I actually think makes the book better. because there's a specific thing that happens later on in the books, which I'm not going to spoil, that does not make any sense. Comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, I'd always questioned that. And this explains it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think that this was the original answer in the books for why it happened, but it makes so much more sense. I think that it's a good change. My problem is with how it's set up, not for Rhaenyra's character. It makes sense for all of the reasons that you explained. Also, her relationships are not healthy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, she's always conflated like approval with love, right? Yeah. With sexual love, right? She's been chasing after her uncle, his approval, and she's gotten those wires crossed. She's willing to do anything that he says, right? And he takes her to a brothel. That's not great for a child's development, okay? So she's messed up. And then, she's basically copied what Daemon has showed her through this power dynamic that she's just abused with Kristen Cole, with Strong. What was his name? I don't remember the Strong boy's name. Was it like something Strong? Okay. Like, she's just using these people like toys, right? Because that's what she's taught. Like, at first it was seeking approval, and now it's like, oh, well, I guess this is how it works. And then I guess her relationship with Daemon is probably her most healthy, even though it's not a good one, because it's still seeking that approval. And so I think her finding affection in Mysaria is completely on track. Like, it matches her character of, wait, this is someone who finally appreciates me.
Yeah.
And gets her wires crossed, like, oh, that means we gotta bang, right? I think it tracks. I don't think Mysaria's character is written very well. I think the writers have a blind spot for her because they like her character. She's just gotten like the biggest like power level increases out of nowhere that are completely unearned. Like, compare Mysaria to literally any other character in the show. They've been wonderfully developed, and when they get gains, it's explained. It's character growth. These characters have been developed so well. And then you have Mysaria, who, well, she's a boss lady, and so now she's important. Like, she has no character arc.
Yeah,
she's boring.
She was going to be sent away. She comes back and saves her.
Right, but why? Why would Rhaenyra send her away at all? Like, that's a bad choice. I don't think Mysaria gave her. I don't think Mysaria gave her enough reason to trust her in the first place. Like, letting her go seemed like a really bad tactical decision that was rewarded because the writers said so. It turns out it was the good decision because she saved her life back.
Well, I know, but with that decision though, that particular decision though, I think is more on Rhaenyra's part because she decides. Yeah. To do it, even though she doesn't necessarily trust her, right? Like, because she says, "Hey, Daemon said this, and I'm going to trust his. Like, I'm going to fulfill his word and keep his word for him."
Sure.
No, I don't.
Rhaenyra's character tracks, anyway. Right?
Yeah.
It's just Mysaria compared to any other character. She's just boring. Like, she's just not developed at all. She's just. I think the writers really like her, and they have a blind spot, and they haven't realized that she just hasn't earned any of this.
It's true. It's probably a little underdeveloped.
Compare her to. I mean, did you watch Game of Thrones, the original?
No.
Okay. Well, if you compare, she's supposed to be analogous to the eunuch, right?
Okay.
Way more interesting than this. They ruined him in the last seasons, right? But like, I just don't know why she's so important. So yeah. But like, the action makes sense. The setup does not make sense for me. But I think it's actually a smart change because it absolutely explains something that did not make sense later in the books.
Okay.
And David agrees with me. He was like, I loved the episode. It was really great, except for that one stupid thing. And I was like, oh, he didn't have to say what it was. I was like, the Mysteria stuff. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was generally set up pretty well. But I was looking at it because, yeah, I mean, she definitely doesn't have quite as much. She's just been there. She helped, foil the attempt, and then she did give some counsel as to, hey, maybe we need to do something a little more tactical, a little more subterfuge instead of, full on.
David said it should have just been a hug. He said the scene would have been way more powerful if I'm reading his text, okay? Yeah. If she just gave her a hug, because what she needs now is a friend and advisor who stands with her, not a lesbian lover. Like, yeah, I get that's what's better for her character, but Rhaenyra's
not going to
emotional, right?
Yeah.
But the kiss, it was silly, and it wasn't scripted. It was the actress's idea. They were supposed to have a hug. And then someone was going to come in and interrupt him. Like, they were going to probably make eyes at each other. And then the guard comes in and interrupts it, and the actress what's her first name? Darcy Emma? Is it Emma?
I don't know.
I think it's Emma. Yeah, she said, "Hey, we should kiss." Oh, it's Emma.
Yeah,
it's right there. Yeah, they were supposed to have a hug and then get interrupted, but then hey, let's make out instead. I kind of agree. I think a hug would be better if it's like implied, and then they start kissing later, in the next episode or something. But yeah, it's also getting review bombed because people didn't like this episode. But like they've been complaining about the Damien stuff for a long time. And people not liking something is not review bombing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the episode, except for some issues with that last part. But it's good. It's good so far.
Yeah, I like the growth, and there was a lot of it, and that's what's been great. I think is that it hasn't just been like, okay, here's one episode of growth, here's another one. Like the whole season, you're starting to see these characters grow, and so they've been really good at making sure that's something that you can see, it's apparent, right? Like it's not something where it's like, oh, at the end of the season, oh yeah, look how much they grew. It's like, okay, you can see it throughout the season where they're making these choices,
right,
that are helping them become better.
I kept saying I think I know where they're going to end the story this season. I don't know if they can get that far though. but also I don't know how they'd end the season on a high note if they don't get that far. And I think, I'm like, it's either going to be disappointing or it's going to be rushed. Like, I don't know, but they've also really handled time jumps really well too. So like, man, even having read the book, like you don't know where this show is going. but not because it's not being faithful to the book, and it's so refreshing. It's just that you got to restructure some things and add some stuff and add some detail, and they're doing a really good job. And they're pleasant surprises, not like, why would you do that to the books,
Yeah.
So,
well, that's
we got 2 more weeks of this. Borderlands drops on the 9th. Is that this week or that's next week? I'm not planning on watching these opening night. But yeah, Borderlands is on the 9th, and then the Alien movie is on the 16th. I think the Alien movie looks good. And I recently watched all of them. Like I'm going to go see the Alien movie. But I'm fine talking about those like a week later,
Yeah, okay.
So, are you prioritizing any of those?
I don't know. I might go see Borderlands.
It's gonna be so bad, dude. It's gonna be so bad.
I played Borderlands for a little bit, so
I love Borderlands.
I
loved 1. 1 was great. 2 was even better. I have the 3rd one. I haven't played it, because I'm pissed off because I played the Tiny Tina's Wonderland thing, and it was the gayest thing. It was so gay. You end the tutorial, and the first mission was, hey, let's get these 2 lesbians to bang. But you got to go collect monster parts so that they can bang.
That's kind of...
It was... Corwin and I both. We were playing it together. We were so excited. We got refunds.
Yeah, that's sad.
So, anyway.
Yeah, so I'll probably watch that one, or maybe watch that one. The other one, I haven't seen any of the Aliens or any of the Predators, so I'd have to do a lot of research before to see that one and have it make sense, probably.
Here's what we'll do, because we technically have the 2 weeks of bye weeks, right? But we also basically have 3, because we're going to be, the House of the Dragon comes out the Sunday. We're just not going to talk about it till a week later. So we have 3 weeks that we could watch these shows on Apple TV. So we can definitely get through Dark Matter. And I'm not going to rush it, but if you want to, I'd like to check out Silo too.
I haven't heard about either of those, so I don't know.
I've heard great things about both, and I bought the book for Silo.
Okay.
Which I have not read. But
no, I definitely I think that Apple TV's got some great stuff on it, and so yeah, if we want to try something on there, yeah.
And if you haven't watched Severance, dude, it's good.
Yeah, haven't gotten to that one either.
Look, I pirated that one, but I'm going to give Apple some money for it. Okay.
I don't think that's how it works, but
what? I'm paying them to watch Severance. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Season 2 is going to be exciting. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, so what was the other? It was Agatha. Skeleton Crew comes out Christmassy. That's one I need to put down. Yeah, we're pretty much booked for the rest of the year. Christmassy. So I've got a month to catch up. I will do my best to get work done without burning myself out before Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not going to sleep for 2 straight weeks. It's going to be hell. It's going to be a living hell. What? 3 episodes?
I did that when I was in architecture school.
3 episodes. I'm going to just drink a lot of caffeine and just power through. And ignore my kids. Okay? I'll just send them in the backyard and they can play.
That sounds dirty. That's when they come back in and their arms not bending the way it used to be.
Dude, no, like my youngest, she's almost 2. She's dislocated her arm twice now.
Oh,
Same
man.
arm. So she dislocated it once, and once it does it once, it's a lot easier to pop out in and out. And we've been so careful. And just last week, I did it. I was holding her. And I didn't even do anything. I didn't like they say the way to do it. She initially fell off a stool and landed on her arm, and it popped her elbow at a socket, right? And we just took her to the doctor, and they just pop it right back in. And they're like, okay, now that it's happened once, though, don't pick her up by her arms, or it's gonna pop back out. And we've been so careful, and I was just holding her, tickling her, doing some stuff, and I hugged her wrong. And it popped back out of socket. I'm like, no! Like, I thought for sure Elliot, because Elliot messed up the first time, right? He pushed her off a stool. And she did a backflip and landed on her arm.
Oh, man.
And I've been so careful to not, and it was my fault.
Shoot.
So.
Dang it. Well, see, there you go. It's adult supervision. You gotta.
Oh, we got a new one coming the end of the year.
What?
Oh, yeah, my wife's pregnant.
What? Hey, congratulations.
Okay, before we end the stream, okay. I gotta end this poll. Maybe next week we'll have a poll for what I should name my daughter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, but the two front runners are our first girl was supposed to be Amelia. We'd chosen that name for a long time, but then when it came time, my wife worked. Her boss had two kids, and one was named Elliot, and the other was named Amelia. And she was like, "I can't copy his names." I'm like, "But we chose them first. I don't care about your boss." And then she quit, like 3 months later, and got a different boss. So I'm like, I wanted Amelia, and now the problem is Amelia is the third most popular name in the United States, and so so we can't use it anymore.
Sounds like she's just rationalizing.
But I still really like Amelia. But she hates it so much, she gave me permission to use a different name that I've kind of just jokingly proposed. It's a name that I love. It's Xochitl.
What?
It's Aztec. I
Okay.
lived in Mexico. It's
Okay.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I don't.
There we go. It's Xochitl.
I would.
But her nickname would be Zoe.
Yes, but okay. You got to consider. What are substitute teachers going to call her?
Zoe.
Is that what's going to be on the roll?
No, they'll say Xochitl, and she'll be like, "It's Zoe."
Yeah.
Problem solved. Why is that a problem?
And then the other thing, I saw this on Instagram. I saw this thing where it showed this. It showed this guy, and he's like testing out baby names to see if they sound right. And then he's like throwing stuff in his laundry. And he's like,
Don't choke in it. Get in here.
Oh no, that doesn't sound right. Like trying to see if it sounds right when you're getting mad at him or trying to tell him to settle down or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Zoe could work. Xochitl, I don't know if I would want to name my children Xochitl.
But my wife said that I could.
Xochitl.
Because she hates Amelia that much.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you guys got to determine, obviously, between you two, but I would have a hard time naming my child Xochitl. But that's because I don't have that rich, Mexican cultural
right
background. But if that's something that you want to incorporate, then you're definitely something you can consider. But
right, I wonder if I want to just keep perpetuating this fake Mexican personality.
Right, I mean it's how far you want to take it, I guess, huh?
No, I think it's a beautiful name. Like
Yeah.
I think Xochitl is even without the nickname, I think it's a beautiful name. I've always loved it.
And the other thing too that at least I try to consider with names. I mean, I don't have any kids, so I definitely am not like, a professional at this at all. But how does that sound with your last name too?
It
So
works. Yeah. Especially with I'm pretty like 90% sure her middle name's going to be Bernice too.
Really?
It's like
Okay.
Zoe Bernice Bentley, or Xochitl Bernice Bentley. That works. Amelia
Okay.
Bernice Bentley. That works too.
All right. Well, yeah.
I really like Floor as well,
Floor's not bad. Yeah.
but it does not work with. But the last name, it does not work.
That's really interesting. Yeah. So
But
that's dude. Names are tricky. So my wife and I literally just started thinking about it. We're not thinking about having kids or anything yet, but like we're thinking about names now just to make
I
sure.
gotta text your mom again. I almost got him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, not yet. But anyway, that's exciting. Congratulations, guys.
It's me. I'm having another daughter. There's 3 of them, plus the older son, who's got a bit of an age gap. We had our son right away, right after we got married. Well, I guess it was like a year after. It was a little bit over a year before she got pregnant. And then we waited a long time because we were both in school. And now we're trying to pump him out so we can be done.
I see.
Because we're getting old. And,
I hear you.
So we don't want to like get to our 40s and be like, we needed one more, you know? Because I don't want to have a kid that late. So we're like, we'll get them done. This is probably the last one.
Okay.
We also said that last time, though. So
I was going to say,
like,
I think you guys are feeling pretty good with where you're at.
She said that after every child.
Well, I will
have as many kids as my wife lets me put inside her. And when we're done, I'm gonna do foster care. So
that's great.
Yep.
Happy for you guys.
We come from a big family, so I like it. Yep. Yeah, next week we'll have a poll, and you guys can decide what I did. No, you can give input on what I named my daughter.
That's probably a good way to put it.
Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have more House of the Dragon, and I don't know, maybe someone will have seen Deadpool or Twisters, and yeah, that's it. Borderlands doesn't come out till next week.
Next week.
All right. Okay, House of the Dragon. See ya, and and Rings of Power video tomorrow. And I'm not getting any money off it because Amazon sucks. But I don't care. I care a little bit, but not enough to wait 30 days and then another 7 days.
Wow.
Screw Amazon, baby. Anything else?
Good.
Bye. See you next week.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining Patreon.